where they think they stop their hands in the backswing relative to their body, oftentimes is a frame or two above where they actually are. The club head, the hands, and the center of your body, if they feel like they're moving at the same pace, you're gonna be a lot better with your distance control. Shouldn't feel separation with your hands and body. If this elbow's in the right way, look at my palm of my hand. My left one's gonna match it. It's impossible to be like this and like this. It's gonna match it. If I have this elbow wide, well, that cups the wrist.
50 to 80 yards,
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. Like I've never had a problem with that, but when I get from like 90 to 115, it's probably my biggest issue right now. And I don't know if it's just like lack of reps
And like you said, it's 100% distance control and you're hitting it long every time.
Yeah, I feel like my contact's fine. I mean, sometimes it'll come a little bit short, but for the most part, it's usually long.
Yeah, and here's the cool thing. For you, and with where your swings come from, two things are going to lead to you hitting it longer, and this is all you have to understand. Number one, I always have to remind players of this, where they think they stop their hands in the backswing relative to their body, oftentimes is a frame or two above where they actually are. So that's an easy one as to why, if you have good rhythm and you don't decel, you're gonna hit it over. The other part, the more technical part for you, is from where your swings come from. What have we always had? More bowed, more shut down club face, and a lot of forward shaft lean as a result. That's where the real distance comes from for you. You'd have to swing too soft and too small, and then the ball flight would just be real low, and it wouldn't have any softness into the green for you to be able to stop it. So the big thing is, it's what we always work on in our swing. For you feeling the wrist more cupped only just keeps it flat, keeps the club more neutral and less shut, and always for you takes away all that drag you get through impact like this. The more cup that you get, which just flattens your wrist, actually helps you get rid of the angle. But hey, what do you notice right away? Like, can you feel that?
I mean, the turf interaction's a little different. Like, it's just softer.
It's just softer, right?
Yeah.
So I want our student to understand this. Like, you keep going, bud. If I'm cupping my wrist around the green, and I do this on little flop shots where I keep the angle that I already start right here, and I'll literally go back and maintain that angle, and the face is wide open. I can just toss it underneath there like this. Well, the more cupped I keep my wrist, the more loft the club face arrives with. Now, for somebody who already has a tremendous amount of forward shaft lean, that's nice because, you know, not only is the same thing that's adding loft, it's getting rid of some of that angle. So if you watch these ball flights from Mason, he's still hitting it low and tight, but it's just floating more and not coming off the face so aggressively. You know what's funny about this lesson though, Kev? It's one of those lessons where 90% of the people watching need this so badly. And here we are with this guy trying to do this. Like that, you know? Do one more for me here. I want to show you this video. The reason why I love this practice, though, for Mason is this is something that's been a huge part of helping him with his swing. It's kept the cupped left wrist keeps the club more in front of him in the takeaway. I remember when we first started working, it kept him more in front of the takeaway and not underneath.
Yeah.
It then helped him at the top of the swing actually keep a flat left wrist with a square club face and got the club more in front of him on the way down. Not so laggy, not with so much forward shaft lean. And the reason why, and this is what I want to show you guys, the reason why we like him to feel a little cupped is because that's the feeling of him being cupped. And for him, it's the extreme. He gets it like this big time through impact and takes a 60-degree, moves that thing down to a quick 48, you know? Yours, yeah. It's the exact opposite than I teach most amateurs. You know, most amateurs we're working on, you know, just driving it in like this and hitting low, tight wedges as much as possible. You're the exact opposite candidate of that. That was way better. That was way better. For wedge distance control, for our viewer too, when your hands are moving at the same pace, not even just the hands, the club head, the hands, and the center of your body, if they feel like they're moving at the same pace, you're going to be a lot better with your distance control. Shouldn't feel separation with your hands and body. Now, a little bit of a different feeling with the driver. With the driver, I feel that same connection going back, that same buildup going back, but most of my players would tell you, they don't feel everything the same speed coming through. This is a shorter club, easier to catch up with the body. That longer club, that driver, it needs to have a little kick to it. The hand speed relative to the body's rotational speed. The arms and hands have to get going in order to catch up with the body and have that photo finish. With a wedge, it's much more of like you're throwing a medicine ball. It's all working at one pace, and it'll still be sequenced the right way due to the length of the club and it being a lot shorter and easier to stay connected. But do you feel where the combination of just being more connected to your body, having your wrists in a better position, gonna be better for us with the wedges, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can't even, I mean, obviously it's hard to like know where I am in space if I don't see videos, but I can kind of just tell with the contact and the flight.
Yes.
It's like starting out right more instead of getting that like chunky toe that either starts left and stays there or just kind of has like a weak fade. These are more like lower and clippy.
Lower, yeah, exactly. But they're not like rocketing off the face too. They're like
soft.
they're gentle. You know, like Kev, get right behind me. I want people to see this. This is interesting. You know, like Nicholas had to feel this. I had I worked with Bo Hostler for a long time. He felt like this. You do. The word cupped, people hear that, and then they just go, you know, because a lot of people do cup their wrists. They need to flatten it. Cupping my left wrist feels like this. If you watch it, I get that really well, and if you watch it, that won't be cupped at the top, and it's just how I feel, and that's always helped me hinge the club and keep the club in front of me like this. This wrist feels to me more like that, but the cool thing is the structure of this right elbow, and I've talked about this before. If this elbow's in the right way, look at my palm of my hand. My left one's going to match it. It's impossible to be like this and like this. It's going to match it. If I have this elbow wide, well, that cups the wrist, right? Actually, you don't. You have good structure of your trail arm. So the whole point is, it's impossible for a guy like him or I to actually get to where we're like this, okay? People who cup their wrist, a lot of times just don't set it at all in the beginning, and then it just breaks down to the top and just goes like that. The answer to having a flat lead wrist is always understanding that the hinge, if it was happening by itself, happens at that 45-degree angle. If I were to keep turning with that, it's right there. Now, the funny thing is, for me personally, for you, that feels more like this than like this.
Yeah.
Some people might work on that, and they might get right there. And if for them, that same position might feel more like this than like that. And the last part, and you said it, and a better player does need means to be able to do what? Practice this the right way.
Yeah.
And listen, we love the heights driving range. But what do you see? You can see it, and Kevin, point out here. You have the 20, you have the 30, you have the 40. But here's the bummer from the back tee box. What's the next one we see?
100.
100. So it's good to know you're not seeing 90, because I was like, man, I'm really short if I'm the only one who can see 100 here. But 100's like, that's it. All right, so with that being said, you know, you're not getting the bulk of it. You're not getting 50 all the way to 90. And having somewhere where you can practice that. So I tell members here, if you're going to want to practice your wedge distance control, yeah, when we're on the front tee box, great, we can plug away at it and you can see all the numbers. They need to go to the golf course in the afternoon, hit some shots. You can really do a nice thing and do a courtesy to the greens out there. Go to the side of the fairway, go to a tight line, maybe in the rough or something like that. It's not bad. So you're not chewing up the fairway, then hit it to a bunker. That's what I have my players do. I just put an alignment rod in a bunker, and the ball plugs right there, and you can kind of see the distance control. Simple stuff. I mean, or what do you need?
TrackMan.
Yeah, you need something. You're at the level where, you know, I think it's important. We don't fix golf swings with TrackMan. We don't fix golf swings with a GC quad. But my better players will have one to get their carry distance. DA Points used to use it from week to week just to make sure his swing speed was staying up with where it was. Kind of latter half of his career was using it to make sure that just swing speed was always there. And if not, worked on his body to get him there. Does that, you know?
Yeah.
So there, you know, we're not using it as a crutch like, hey, you know, we can see if the path is 6 in to out. We don't need to have something tell us that. But the reality is, you know, that's the next step for you. So it's cup the wrist, stay smooth in 3/4, okay? And then the last part of it would be figure out the best way to practice it. At Forzak Golf, we take a lot of pride in having developed some of the best and most consistent golf swings on the planet. We do this through simplicity. Our Full Swing Masterclass will take you on a step-by-step, easy-to-understand process on how to get your golf swing better than ever. Join the many before you who've utilized our Full Swing Masterclass to take their games to the next level and beyond.